Good morning, dear students. How are you doing? It's been a long time, and well, I must admit I really miss you all. It's a strange situation here, and of course, we are not used to all of this, but hopefully, you're all healthy and fine, and everything will get back soon to normal. So, today's discussion, or more like a small message from me, is regarding property law. As I understand, we are not going to really meet at all this term, and I have been exchanging some information with all of you online in Moodle. And well, I'm not really used to making video lectures. I'm more of a person. So well, we'll have to make do with these sort of things right now. So the idea is maybe to just talk a bit about what all has happened, update you with some information, and then maybe do a little revision series, go through all the lectures one by one, see what's good, what's left out. If something is not clear, then maybe I can clarify some situations for you. So, number one, well, it's a nice summer day, and I hate to bring bad news to you, but the online exam is going to come up pretty soon. If you remember, the dates are 4th May and then 11th May and then the 1st of June. Now, it's an online exam, so of course, it's an open book exam, which also means that you have all the possibilities to use the material that you have at hand. Because of the wide extent of material, I've been trying to sort of limit some of the study requirements. And if you see in Moodle, in the messages and also in the lecture notes and the other attachments, I have specifically marked out what is not for the exam. Other than that, of course, everything comes for the exam. So, well, you have to be ready for these sort of things now. The type of questions, well, again, they would be very open-ended. As a budding lawyer, you are now expected to have all the material in hand, and so you should be able to answer the questions based on your knowledge and the ability to check the material to refresh your memory. Another deadline coming up soon is for homeworks first, second, and third. If you may recollect, the deadline is 1st of May. That's not very far either, so I hope you get ready with that as well. And of course, if you have any questions, feel free to ask me and I'll be happy to clarify them for you. Now, 3 minutes have gone on spending some niceties and exchanging um, some nice thoughts, hopefully. So let's look at maybe lecture one and some of the things that might be of interest, which you could perhaps pay more attention to. Um, of course, purely from the exam point of view, but also may help you later on. So we looked at property and the various aspects of property law, and of course, honoraries, incidents of ownership, well, all 11 of them. And so we discussed the various concepts that go with them. And as we saw, a lot of these do make sense. They all don't have to be present at the same time to constitute what we could legally call as the concept of ownership, but a lot of them together do imply that you are the owner of that property if you fulfill the criteria. Now, as you may recollect, in the very beginning I had mentioned during the starting of the course that because this is a very general topic and most of you are not interested in knowing just exactly what's in Estonian law because you don't really intend to practice in Estonia, so we try to cherry pick and look at different legal systems. So first of all, the French legal system, just to see how they look at property, and then the English common law system. These are older systems, so they give an opportunity to understand how these concepts have evolved, sometimes in a bit of a variance with each other. And then we also looked at the Estonian legal system, some parts of it. Now, All of these parts which are in the lecture notes will be important to keep in mind from the exam point of view, because it's an open book exam. So whatever is in the lecture notes or whatever is not specifically marked as not for the exams is something that you need to know about. So some of the definitions from the French Civil Code or the Estonian Property Act, again good to know. And we have looked at ownership, property, loss of property, which of course is a very interesting and important topic, and I will stress upon it in more detail also later on. Tangible and intangible types of property, immovable property and movable property. Some of these are simplistic, straightforward definitions, and just as law usually tends to be, it's not supposed to be complicated or difficult to communicate. It's supposed to be easy to understand. So they do make sense, although sometimes you have gray zones, and that's where there's scope for confusion, which needs to be clarified. The different types of arrangement of property, again from the collective viewpoint, the common property viewpoint, and the private property viewpoint. And then we looked at the basic concepts of who is the owner. Now this of course is a very deep and profound question, because ownership is not as straightforward and simple. It also depends on society, on the legal system, and various norms and customs and practices. So there is some aspect of the Estonian Property Act over here outlining possession, which, as I have stressed upon, is a very important aspect. Although it does not guarantee that you are an owner, it does help to understand a lot about the strengths and the power of a possessor. And there were some other issues regarding how you can protect your possession of a property, and so these are laid out. Then there were some theoretical issues based on various theories, social theories, socioeconomic theories, law theories, and these are what have been looked at in the past: the labor theory, the social contract theory, the natural law theory, the utilitarianism theory, and the cost benefit analysis. There are some examples of them given as well, so you can spend some time on this. In this lecture, we have also looked at some deep theoretical aspects going back to Locke, Rousseau. There's even some comment about Marx, and these are aspects that you should keep in mind from a theoretical perspective, because remember, theory builds up on practice. Theory is the foundation, and if you have a good grasp on the foundation, you should be fine later on with your legal practice. Some fundamental ways of acquiring ownership were looked at in lecture 1B, and we looked at discovery, occupancy, capture, finder. Yeah, and this was of course a very important area. Please pay a lot of attention to it, because lost, mislaid, abandoned, and especially treasure trove are the really gray zones where a lot of different conflicts of interest can arise. Interestingly, there are a lot of examples of Estonian law here, and I would strongly recommend you to keep them in mind, because there is a lot of aspect regarding finding something, finder's fees, treasure, and very, very importantly over here, treasure of special significance. So please keep that in mind. There is also the aspect of prescription and the rights of third persons. So these are some of the aspects that you should read and understand, and even though they are Estonian law, they are specifically there in the lecture notes for you to pay attention to. What does it mean to be the owner, and can something be owned? Again, philosophical questions which arise not just in antiquity but even now. If you look at the controversy regarding the 5G spectrum, again, can the government sell these rights, and on what basis? In our neighborhood, Norway has oil, and then again, How do you deal with such public resources? Do you privatize them, or do you look at them as something which belongs to everybody? In the end, there was a case study, which of course is also the basis of your homework assignment, one of your homework assignments, and it raises deep questions regarding biotechnology and ownership of property. So if you read some of the articles that are also here in this section of Moodle, you will understand that there's a lot of impetus on biotechnology and the newer forms of technology which allow newer aspects, newer inventions, newer discoveries to be owned and commercially used. So this is the revision of the first one, and the first chapter, 10 minutes are up, more than 10 actually. I hope you enjoyed this. Let's see how the outcome of this is, and then based on the outcome, I will prepare some more lecture notes or lecture videos so that you can have a broad viewpoint about the various topics that were covered, and also revise what has been discussed so far. So thank you for your time, and until the next lecture in this series, goodbye.